Minions. Remember when Illumination seemed like a genuine fresh face in the animation world? Remember when Despicable Me came out, and while not the most incredible thing to ever happen, how nice it was to see an original idea go big from a studio that wasn't Disney, DreamWorks or Pixar. Then do you remember when these twats took over? Fucking Minions. They're like lemon Tic Tacs, except instead of the sight of them making you crave sugary breath-freshening goodness, they make you crave death. The sweet, silent release of death. Delicious. I fucking hate these things. And I hate that I do because it's become such a trend to dislike them that I really feel like I'm jumping on the bandwagon, but they're everywhere. They're impossible to not hate, these horrible, screeching, obnoxious fart jokes. How are they this significant in popular culture? Their characters are nothing more than a fat banana with an emoji sticker on top. Why the fascination? What's with the merchandise? What's with the mashup? And what the fuck is up with the memes? What does a minion dressed as Wolverine have to do with parents divorcing? Why is this one teaching me about Jesus? And what? Now, I don't want to get too much into my personal opinion about the instant downfall of Illumination Studios and how the popularity of the Minions are the worst thing to come out of that, because I've already covered this in a podcast on the first Despicable Me movie with my boy Tyler from Cynical Cartoons. Link in the description if you want to hear that stuff. So I'll just get on with diving straight into this entry into the franchise, and you're probably thinking I'm going to rip the absolute piss out of it, but I'm actually not. In fact, and this is an unpopular opinion I guess, but I would say there's actually almost nothing to hate in the Despicable Me franchise. Well, except for these fuckers. But other than that, it's all, dare I say, solid? Not great by any means. It ain't gonna go one-on-one with Toy Story anytime soon, and it certainly has its dips and peaks in quality, but there's a lot here that's pretty good. Look at the animation in the trailer for a start. For being made on a way smaller budget than the big hitters, this is smooth, it's colourful, and it has a kind of Looney Tunes bounciness you don't really see a lot of anymore. It's got a fair bit of imagination. The only other stuff with this kind of quality to it I can think off the top of my head is some of my boy Gendy Tartakovsky's work, particularly that Popeye concept video he had floating around for a while. The plots of these films sometimes aren't anything to write home about, mind. They're functional, but they'll always play it safe and often feel disjointed. This one in particular really suffers from shit just going on all over the place. The main plot is about Gru, our reformed protagonist from the previous films, finding his brother and stealing a diamond. But there's also like a million different subplots seemingly going on that both start and get wrapped up before you can even finish the sentence. Minions are fucking shit and I hate them. There's a whole thing with one of the kids trying to catch a unicorn. There's another thing with this lonely dude in cheese that they start to make a big deal out of and then don't. And the Minions, and I'm not just saying this because they're the worst things to happen since ever, have no point being in this film. They exist in this narrative solely so the writers can go, we need padding, this screw stuff's not long enough to ooh, look, the Minions are in jail. Ha ha ha. Isn't it funny? It's not funny. It's pointless is what it is. They're not even with any of the other characters for 90% of the movie, and at one point they just end up on the X Factor. What the fuck does these yellow little gremlins going on the X Factor have to do with anything? Yeah, I know, I'm not the target audience, kids like them, so I can't be too harsh. But I don't know, I feel this movie gets kind of lazy a lot of the time. I mean, Christ, spoilers I guess, but you know how Gru turns out to have a brother? His mom's just like, oh yeah, that's a thing. You got a twin, me and your dad got divorced, and we just decided to take one each. Fucking what? That's not how divorce works. Reckon a solicitor is going to be like, got an even number of kids? Separating from your husband? Well, you better learn the song Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo because you're only getting 50% of the sproglets. Again, I know, it'll just go over kids' heads, they won't really question it. Well, that is unless their parents are getting divorced, in which case Johnny might be sat on his bed, tears in his eyes, after seeing Despicable Me 3, looking at his brother, no, his best friend, knowing their time together is limited, because if what Despicable Me 3 says is true, then after the courtroom resolves things, they'll probably never see each other again. Goodbye, Timmy, he says. I'll never forget you. I'll never Whoa! What don't take me PlayStation, you little fuck. You know what? Sod you. I'm glad you're getting dad. You can excuse this nonsense with it's just a kids movie all you want, but you know what else is just a kids movie? Inside Out, and Toy Story, and Spirited Away, and Up, and The Lion King, and The Princess Bride, Coraline, Kubo and the Two Strings, Paranorman, The Lego Movie, Frozen, fuck you, it's the best, Harry Potter, The Iron Giant, Song of the Sea, Zootopia. I don't think It's Just a Kids Movie cuts it anymore, since plenty of kids movies tell very complex and intelligent stories in a way children will understand without patronising them by having a yelling yellow suppository do some silly dance to the Macarena or some shit. I'm maybe being a little harsh on it though, it definitely appeals to the people it's for, even if it never strives to be anything more than pretty decent. As I've already mentioned, the animation is really good, some of the virtual set design is very nice, and I honestly thoroughly enjoyed the villain. Yeah, he was kind of devoid of character besides is a bad guy, but the whole 80s gimmick thing he had going on did make me smile, and everyone's performance is great. Steve Carell might be doing the whole I do silly accent now, but to be fair to him, he's pretty good at doing it, and the themes of brotherhood and family, while basic, are executed perfectly well, and some of the emotion, while manipulative, and we're talking little ridiculously cute girl selling her prized possessions for $2 to help out her adoptive dad kind of manipulative, do actually hit the R button when they want to, even if it is the kind of forced sentimentality that would make Hallmark splooge in their Christmas trees. This is true of, I think, all of the Despicable Me films, but you know what? I think they're not as horrible as people perhaps make them out to be. Except the Minions. That one. Let's repress that rage. They've certainly got the problems, but I reckon all of them could, with a little bit of spit shine, be something special. They tick all the right boxes. Bouncy animation, for the most part likeable characters, feel good family fun. It's just that they never strive to be better than Shrek 4. There's no wrong with Shrek 4. Shrek 4 quality is pretty good for a debut film. But don't make Shrek 4 3 times, lads. Because at the end of the day, it's Shrek 4. And you don't want to be known as the new Shrek 4 just with an annoying Tic Tac for a mascot. I bet Minion Tic Tacs exist, actually. Of course. Of course. That's all from me. A little bit shorter this time round, but it's only because I've already talked so much about Illumination and a lot of the issues I have with and things I like about these movies in the Cynical Cartoons podcast. Again, link in the description for those interested. The countdown continues. 9 movies down, only 1 to go, and then the big announcement. I was probably just going to review another recent movie or something tomorrow, but if you guys have any requests for the finale to this little experiment, I'm open to suggestions. You want me to do my favourite movie? Want me to do my least favourite movie? You want me to do The Room or some other cult thing? I obviously won't be able to honour all suggestions, but I could skim through and see if you guys have any achievable ideas. So feel free to comment and also like and subscribe if you enjoyed this one and want to watch out for the big thing coming. By the way, if you're in the market for a t-shirt subscription service that delivers official tees that cater specifically to your interests, then check out tblocks.com. And if you use the referral code GeekyGlassesTBX when purchasing on their site, you'll save 10% on your whole order. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I can't believe I've made it this far in these daily uploads without dying, but here it is, the final home stretch. Just one more review, and then I'm going to try something a little crazy.